Hello, this is Dr. Rick Morales. The work we do at Morales Associates covers a broad range of issues that make up the development of leaders, teams, and organizations. An underlying theme pertains to change. Change can be a code word for many things. As we go through this presentation, I'd like you to think about what change means to you. In this presentation, we'll take a look at some of the change models that are out there and some considerations for how to respond to and lead change. We live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Volatile pertains to the nature, dynamics, and speed of change. Uncertainty pertains to the lack of predictability, the possibility of being surprised. When we think about complexity, we're looking at the multiple and competing demands, and sometimes even chaos, that we all have to deal with. Ambiguity, of course, is the haziness of reality, the fog of war. Sometimes it leads to confusion. So the challenge of leadership under these conditions means that leaders have to be at their best on a personal level. And since change impacts people, and because people are people and not robots, leaders need to remain both self-aware and aware of the emotional impact of change on those they lead. With that in mind, let's take a look at the 7 dynamics of change. At first, people will feel awkward and self-conscious about whatever the change is. They'll have to focus on what they have to give up. They'll get concerned that they don't have enough resources to handle the change and to do their job well. They'll move into feeling perhaps alone, thinking that even though everyone else is going through some change, they're in it all by themselves. It's important to remember that people can only handle so much change, and that people, because they're people again, are at different levels of readiness for change. And that if you take the pressure off, people will go back to their path of least resistance, go back to old behaviors. Some of the questions that people ask themselves when change, whatever its manifestation is, comes on them are things like this. What is it? Why do we need this change? How's it going to affect me? Am I going to be a winner or a loser as a result of this? How will it happen? How will I manage it? Will things get better? Is this change even worth it? Will I have partners? Will I have allies in change? And after there's some level of energy around it, you may see people asking themselves, well, can I make this change better? Here's a change model around communication strategies to think about, focused on denial, resistance, exploration, and commitment. Again, remembering that change, however you think of it, is an evolution. Some things to consider. Announce the change openly. Inform people. Let people know what's going on. Let it sink in. As people react, listen. Solicit their feedback. Receive their feelings. Acknowledge the uncertainty they might be feeling in their own resistance. As you begin to sort of have that dialogue and facilitate those feelings and emotions, channel that energy. Begin to use that energy to brainstorm, to create a vision around what a preferred future might look like. Set some short-term goals. Focus on priorities that they can achieve. Facilitation is a key part of this piece of the process. As you move forward, begin to celebrate, begin to build the team, begin to put together a mission statement, maybe set some long-term goals and refine the focus so you can get the kind of commitment that you need as the group and the team has moved from where they used to be to where they are. This, of course, highlights that as a change leader, and even as someone who is maybe not in a formal leadership role, there are some things that you need to think about to navigate confidently in a VUCA world. Fundamental are these: information, relationships, and vision. So some questions to maybe ask yourself in terms of information as you're involved in a change process, or a process where there's a lot of newness going on. What do I know? What do I need to know? Where are the pitfalls? In this new environment, what matters and what doesn't matter? What are the non-performance criteria I need to understand in order to be successful? Not just the performance criteria, but the non-performance criteria, the things that nobody tells you about and you need to pick up for yourself. Relationships are really key. Networks are really fundamental in terms of being able to navigate in a VUCA world. Who do I know? Who knows me? How do they know me? How do they see me in action? Where are they on the food chain? Are they a friend or a foe? Do we have common experiences, common values? And ask yourself and be honest with yourself, how much time and effort do I put into cultivating these relationships and building my own networks? Fundamentally, vision. What do I want? What motivates me forward, and what do I want my world to look like? Whether you're thinking about your own career or whether you're thinking about leading a team or an organization. Here's kind of a cool graph for some key factors on leading change. For change to fully happen, you need the top line: vision, skills, incentives, resources, and an action plan. Without a vision, you get confusion. Without skills, of course, you get anxiety. Without incentives, you'll get resistance. Without resources, frustration. And without an action plan, you're just on a treadmill. Some steps for leading change can be found in this model by John Cotter, which is particularly useful. As a change leader, here's some things to look at. Increase urgency. Inspire people to move, to make the objectives relevant and real. Build your guiding teams. Get the right people in place with the right emotional commitment. Get the right mix of skills. Get the vision right. This is fundamental as well. Get the team to establish a simple vision and strategy. Focus on the emotional and creative aspects necessary to drive the service that you're providing and to increase efficiencies. Communicate for buy-in. Involve as many people as you can. Communicate the essentials in a simple way and appeal to and respond to people's needs. Try to declutter communications. Make the technology work for you rather than against it. Enable action. Remove obstacles. Enable constructive feedback. Get lots of support from your various leaders and reward and recognize progress and achievement. Create short-term wins. Set aims that are easy to achieve. Do it in bite-sized chunks. Don't let up. You need to foster and encourage determination and persistence. Encourage ongoing progress reporting. Highlight what you've achieved and set future milestones. And then make it stick. Reinforce the value of successful change through your recruitment, promotion, developing new change leaders. Try to weave change into the culture. That's the best way to make it stick. When we think about thought leaders, Bob Johansen is one of the key ones in the area of change. His quote here is I think a good one. The best leaders are characterized by vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. In a VUCA world, the kind of strategy that works is to be very clear about where you're going, but also very flexible in how you get there. The study of change is itself a changing proposition. The mental models and frameworks we use to make sense of an emerging future are being shaped to account for new technologies, the impact of speed on change, and how all of this resonates emotionally with our ability to make sense of it all, to make our actions meaningful. At the end of the day, we have the ability to redefine what a VUCA world means. So when you think about leading in a VUCA world, in a volatile time, vision is in high demand. Uncertainty calls for a deeper understanding of the context and culture we're in. This also includes the need to understand ourselves and how we impact others. Complexity calls for clarity, but be aware that clarity can sometimes be a trap, because when people are confused, clarity can get rewarded even if it's the wrong clarity. Finally, ambiguity calls for agility. Being a leader in a VUCA world means being agile and being able and willing to pivot. All of this takes practice and the skills we need to be at our best when it matters most. Leading change in a VUCA world.